aquacycling, so cycling in the water for exercise class, and I started to have the students meditate in water, in warm water, and I started to see the transformation that was happening within them, and also within me. I've been a swimmer for my whole life, and also a swimmer afraid of drowning, and I was always curious why that was. So I moved to California on a journey to follow the water, and I traveled all over the world to understand how different cultures use water for healing purposes. So I studied water birthing in Portugal, and I studied free diving and flotation, the act of flotation, and scuba diving and water dance and water therapy. And I was living in a house with 14 people and a baby. It was like a collective living in Oakland, California. And one of the founders, Levi, his brother's name is Zev. Shout out to my Euclid Manor house guests. And they had started a camp called Camp Grounded, which was a digital detox for adults. So it was a summer camp for adults. And when you went, they stripped you of all electronics. They had like this really fun quarantine place. So every electronics was taken from you. You could wear whatever you want, any costumes. And the rules were, you can't use your real name. You can't talk about time. You can't use the W word, which is work. And you can't talk about age. And it was an incredible experience. And I was working on this Follow the Water piece, and I was debating my name. And as soon as I hit the campgrounds, I told people my name was Water. And I didn't realize the consequence of such a powerful element, and that she was going to start to talk to me. The second day I woke up, and we're in cabins, and we're having we're running around like unicorns, and there's so much love, and I woke up with just so much frustration, so much irritation. I was pissed off, and I didn't know why. And so I decided to go to a songwriting class. I said, maybe I can process this. Maybe I can let this flow through me. And it made me more frustrated, because I was like, I gotta make a chorus and a verse. Like, I just wanna just write some words, and I don't know what those words are. And I was going back to my cabin. I was gonna pull the covers over my head and just cry. And my roommate Zev saw me on the way, and he's like, what's up? And I was like, I don't know. And he said, well, remember that spoken word workshop that you wanted to go to? That's happening right now. And so we went, and they gave us yellow sheets of paper and a pen. And Nasime is also an artist, and she was doing this spoken word workshop. And she said, I want you to complete the sentence, I am. And then she gave us time. And as soon as she said go, I started to heave, that feeling when you get really upset and you can't breathe. I started to weep uncontrollably. I was like snotting down my face. I was drooling down my face, and my hands just wrote, you buy me, sell me, trade me, cover me, trash me, damn me, rape me, start wars because of me. I am the forgotten voice you most need, dead without me, alive because of me. You ignore me. So it came out with this punch. It was angry, it was frustrated, but it was compassionate, and it was loving. And she had us stop. And I looked up like a crazy person, like just shaking. And then she said, I want you to finish the sentence, you are. And then we are. And this poem hasn't been edited. This is what came from that moment. And it took a while to put it into video form, because I started to read it a little bit to others, but it was so sacred. I can't read this by heart. I've tried to I can't memorize it, because it feels like it's not my words. It has my imprint, but it's water speaking to me and speaking to all of us. that this is who you are, and you constantly ignore me and rape me and damn me and stop me from flowing. You stop your own art and your own joy all the time. Our bodies are made up of it. Our world is made up of it. A lot of people in this city now don't have access to it. Don't have access to swim and learn how to swim and love the water and not feel that trauma. And, you know, water came to me later on and told me, I'm going to keep coming to you, yo. And I was just like, I don't think I'm big enough. I don't think I'm big enough to speak words of the magnitude that your element represents. And she was like, just ramp up then, because, you know, and some of my conversations with water are in this book. And our recent conversations, I was like, how do I serve? You know, do I serve with clean water? How do I serve with the healing impact that you are? And she said, get them here and I will take care of the rest. And so I coach girls swimming. And so I bring people to the water to do water blessings. And so I dance on water's edge. And so I meditate in water and work with Milwaukee Rec on how do we get swimming in the hands of every MF child in the city, because we can't have any more drownings and we can't have any more trauma around this liquid that is us, because that trauma is just how we see ourselves. The fear that we have with water, or the loss or the grief of losing people to drowning and in water, and slavery, bringing slaves over on boats and having half of the slaves die in water, that doesn't go away. That trauma is in our blood and in our DNA. And I want to stand for the remembrance of who we are, which is water, and the coming back home of that, no matter how hard that message is and how hard that work is, because we are water. Thank you. Did I go over time?